Hi, welcome to the Tuning Garage System tutorial. In this video I will teach you how to configure your cars to work with the Tuning Garage system, add customization parts and implement your character. To get started, assuming that you have already migrated the asset and its customizable vehicles into the project, go to the Edit tab, click on Plugins, activate the Chaos Vehicle plugin and restart your project. In my case, I will use the showcase level that is already composed to demonstrate how to integrate everything. First, we need to insert the game instance into the project settings, which contains our variables and also the autosave, so that everything works correctly without errors. We can remove the default player from the level and then configure our new character. To do this, if you already have your own character, open BP_game mode and insert your character. I will rename the new one so that I don't get confused during the process. I'm going to take advantage and also change the color too. If you want, you can skip this part of the video ahead. Okay, so let's insert our new character into the game mode. If you already have a system for getting in and out of the car, you can use yours, but in my case I will copy and paste the existing one for the new character. Now inside our vehicle, we also need to select which will be our new character for when we leave the vehicle. Otherwise, when we leave the car, the wrong character will spawn, that is, the previous default character and not the new one we created. When I made the migration, being a new project, I lost all the inputs, which is normal, so I'm going to take advantage and also show you how to solve this in no time. Go to the project you downloaded from the launcher and in the config folder, open the default input file and copy all the lines that say axis mappings and paste them into your new project. That's it, now all the inputs will be working and there is no longer the warning. To configure your vehicle, change the skeletal mesh of the master vehicle. I will explain why in a moment. Also don't forget to add your vehicle's animation blueprint. Click on Vehicle Movement component and look for Wheels Setup. This will be necessary because if you are using a different vehicle, the names of the wheel bones will probably not be the same as those on the Epic vehicle, and this will cause problems where your vehicle may become suspended or not sit on the ground properly. Check the exact name of the wheel bones and paste or type the name without errors. However, I have already created a correct wheel class for each vehicle I am using. When you create the correct configuration for yours, or if you already have one, just add it here. Now let's compose our vehicle with the remaining parts so that it doesn't look ugly. This step is not necessary except attaching the wheels, since we will be using child actors, but if you want you can also compose your own, it's whatever you prefer. I don't know about your vehicles how the pivots are, but note that in the case of spoilers you will want the pivot in the center and a little lower so that if you have a spoiler of a different height or shape, it fits correctly during gameplay, otherwise it will look visually ugly, and you can notice the gap between the spoiler and the body of the vehicle. In the case of the remaining parts, make sure that the pivot is in position 0, that is, in the center of the vehicle, but in this case with the bumper aligned with the vehicle. I may do a Blender tutorial later depending on if it's in high demand. Now the most important part. The reason why we inserted a random base vehicle is because the names of the wheels are different. So if you, for example, are using the Epic default, when you add the wheels to your child actor it simply won't find the correct sockets because the names won't be the same. You can do this manually through Blueprint, but if you use many vehicles from different creators this would not be the best way. However, you can always make a new rig in Blender, and that way the names will all be the same. I will leave the link to a rig tool for Blender here in the description. Also make sure that all wheels have their pivot in the center of the mesh, and that they all have the same rotation orientation. Okay, now we can add all the compatible parts to the vehicle. I will set up all the parts that are universal and used among all vehicles, such as colors, spoilers and rims in the master blueprint, so I don't have to repeat everything in each child. However, for the bumpers and other more specific parts, it will have to be done individually for each child actor, as each car has its own parts. Also fill in the stock parts if you want to leave your vehicle in stock condition again at the tuning garage. Ready. After everything is configured, each part or vehicle that can change color, write color in the materials slot so that it can be detected which is the correct slot to automatically assign a new material. The same applies to brake lights, headlights and taillights. If you want to add carbon fiber parts where you don't want it to be affected by the color of the vehicle, then just remove the name from the slot for that material or write something else. Now we can create child actors for the vehicle and start filling out our cars. As I only have 2 for this tutorial, I'm just going to create these, but you can create as many as you want. As one of the childs is the same as the master, I will just fill in the above because the R34 is already created based on the master, which is also an R34. As the diameter of the wheels and suspension of the Supra are different, I created a different wheel class, but if your cars are the same you can use the same class. It is not mandatory to have one for each vehicle. Notice how the position of the spoiler doesn't work well on this car. Again, I recommend that the spoiler pivot is at the bottom of the mesh so that it is easier to relocate for each car. You can also add sockets as you prefer. If necessary, also adjust the lights and other details you want. Now just add all the compatible parts you have available for your vehicle. When I made the asset, I forgot to add hoods and exhausts, but I will make a separate version available later with these features for anyone who has the asset and wants it. I included 2 spawners for vehicles that save customizations if you want, for example, to create garages or dealerships. But if you just want to use normal cars, then drag them to the level and use them. This process is not necessary to follow. If you want, you can skip this part ahead. That's it, our cars are completely customizable. If for some reason you don't understand any part of the video or still have questions, please get in touch in the comments or by email. I'm constantly checking the support email, so feel free to ask any questions you may have. I'll see you in the next video.